So, again, another thing happened just a moment ago that just kind of irked me, but you kind of notice the growth in yourself and how you handle certain things and how you look at something that in the past you would have been like, man, what the, and going off about it and feeling bad and pissed off. And now I can see just like my growth in a sense, or just me just making things trivial. Like I look at certain things where I'm like, man, I'm not gonna trip off of that because it's not even worth it. Happy New Year, by the way, of course. And I think I've talked about this before, but actually, yeah, I definitely did talk about this before. Last time somebody cut me off. So this time it was kind of like somebody cut me off again, but I just looked at it and I was just like, well, I guess that person needed it more than me. And I think it's important to have this mindset where you trivialize certain things, not everything. It's a very dangerous mindset to have because it could actually really hurt the people around you. And I've learned that somewhat the hard way, but I've also made up for it in some other ways or caught it and then apologize for doing that. But I think it's important that we, put certain things in its place. So for instance, somebody cutting you off in a line, somebody cutting you off in a lane, somebody even just last night, of course, somebody just giving you bad customer service, and learning the lessons from that and how you can actually improve that situation and do better yourself as well. So it's like I'm looking at all these things and I'm like, well, you know what? That sucks, or this sucks. But at the same time, I'm in a position where that's trivial. Case in point, I'm in the line at actually McDonald's, and I'm looking at my Cash App. So a guy pulls up, and then I should be next in line because they have these 2-line systems now where you weave. It's good. I like it because it just gets orders faster and stuff like that. But you see the other person right behind them just pull right up. And they know what they're doing, and they look at the corner of their eye type deal, or they try to ignore you so they can just look straight like you're not there. And it's like I know you see me because you did that because you saw me and you needed to do that. So like I look at these things and I'm like, well, at the time I'm looking at the Cash App balance for rent that's coming in this week, and I'm about like $1,300, right? And I'm like, oh shit, all right, cool. And I just like, I see it happen, and I look right back down at Cash App. And I'm like, this is extremely trivial. Like, why? Like, I don't need to even worry about what just happened. This person needed that much, or needed that type of, they needed to do that. They felt they needed to do that. And honestly, you have to start prioritizing things. You can get mad, you can complain, you can do all this stuff, but all that energy that you're expressing, espousing, and putting out there in the world, and even receiving that negative energy you're receiving, is a problem. It can really develop into a problem for you later on, and because it'll weigh on your mind, you don't express it, you don't say anything about it, or you go home, you complain about it, or you're mad at somebody else because it's like, well, that happened to me. Like, you hold on to it, which actually happened to me recently, where I held on to something, and it's something that I hold on to dearly because it's also a source of power and motivation for myself. And I'm looking at all of this now, and I'm looking at other things that are happening in my life, and I'm like, these things aren't big issues anymore. It wasn't even a big issue then, but it shows where I place certain things in my life. Like how low I felt in my life, how small I was in my own life. I wasn't a big person in my life. I was just, I was just like, whatever, I am what I am, or I'm doing this, so on and so forth. I wasn't where I wanted to be in life, and I'm still not. But I think it's important to assess yourself. And a lot of people do that year end, new year beginning, and so on and so forth, and make plans for themselves. So it's like, when all this happens and I go through all these things, I'm like, this is good for me. Because it's almost like a test that you just weren't prepared for, but you've been preparing this whole entire time. and you passed, or you did better. You got a B, you know? Like, I didn't just totally brush it off. I was pissed for 2 seconds, and I was just like, yeah, man, we got $1,300 in the Cash App. Fuck all that. You know what I mean? Like, we got bills to pay. We got this coming up. We got that going on, so on and so forth. So it's like, you know, it wasn't a big fucking deal I didn't turn it into a big deal. It was just like, all right, cool. That shit sucks, but whatever. I still got my food in a timely fashion. It wasn't like, oh my God, I was assed out and I got the wrong shit. And I don't even know if I didn't even check my damn meal. I started making this damn video. So I'm looking at all this and I'm like, man, you know what? I've gotten to a better place and I've done more. I've done greater things, which is amazing. And I'm continuing to do greater things, except for clean this. I haven't done that. I haven't done that great thing yet. But, you know, it's amazing that, you know, that I'm at this point, and it's even better that I'm nowhere near where I know I'm going to be. And like, I think that's very important. I think it's important to look at certain things and trivialize them, but also important to understand that, even in the small things, there are great successes. There are there's great pain as well. And we should also, you know, be aware of that. And, when we look at the sum, you know, the sum of it all, or the sum total, I don't know how you say it. When you look at the greater picture, you're like, all right, yeah, we're a lot better. And I'm thankful for that. I really am. So, in that small little test, this was actually a really big deal. Alrighty, have a good one. Happy New Year. And I thank you for everything. And I thank you for always listening. Bye.